Hey everybody, welcome to Raccoon Rambles. We're gonna go out there, we're gonna feed the raccoons some sandwiches and some other great things, and we're gonna teach the raccoons about mental toughness. Oh my gosh, there's one trying to get in right now, I'm not even joking. Anyways, my name is Brendan. In case you don't know, I post a lot of nature videos and I'm a mental toughness coach. And tonight, you're gonna join me, we're gonna hang out, have some fun with these little guys. Let's see what happens. Hi guys. Okay, welcome to Raccoon Rambles. Today we're going to speak to the raccoons and teach them all about this idea that Earth is a one-room schoolhouse where all the souls come to learn different lessons. This is an idea that was spoken about by a number of different spiritual masters. And, oh hello, are you ready for today's lesson? And it basically goes like this. The circumstances of our life, the people, where we're born, the things we do are all set up so that we can learn the lessons we need to learn in this lifetime so we can grow into our character perfection. Now, everybody's got their own unique learning path. You may not struggle with jealousy in this lifetime, but for other people it can be a big deal because they haven't conquered that yet. You know, perhaps you struggle with reactivity, but other people don't because they've already conquered that previously. And you may notice that birth isn't really the beginning of us because we all have these innate tendencies when we're born. We're a work in progress when we show up. And there's curriculum we all tend to get. We all get Suffering 101 in our lives. We all get Rejection 101. Many of us get Self-Doubt 101. We may get Empathy 101. We may get Accountability 101. Gratitude 101. There's many different lessons we might learn, but we're all working towards Unconditional Love 101. One lifetime isn't long enough to learn it all, let's be honest. So, death is how we go from classroom to classroom, and we learn from all sides and all angles. All genders, all races, all religions. And typically there's one or two major life lessons per lifetime, and that's it. Just think about the themes you've been challenged with the most in your lifetime. What do you think they've been for you? There's an aspect to this that can help you be more at peace with others. Have you ever noticed that there's some people that just frustrate or disappoint you to no end? That they, consistently do the wrong thing when if they just listen to everybody, they'd be all right? These are the people that are very difficult and create a lot of pain for others. Well, these are the people in low-grade spiritual school. They're still learning those basic lessons. They're really focused on me, myself, and I, and what's in it for me. So they're learning in this lifetime, they're learning basic lessons about survival and overcoming selfishness. And people in the low grades of spirit school don't tend to deal with their pain constructively. They think that it's best to just feel less, so they tend to numb themselves with drugs or alcohol or excess screen time and video games and distracting themselves. And they have a lot of self-defeating behaviors. So moodiness, which, what's the cost-benefit analysis of being in a bad mood? It's all suffering and no benefit for you and everyone else around you. They do a lot of complaining. They do a lot of blaming others. Pretending to be a victim in situations is very common. So the attitudes that can really help us with these people is, one, see their innocence. That, don't expect too much of these people. That's our biggest problem, is that we expect more from people and we are constantly disappointed. So see their innocence. Keep a healthy distance from them. In the same way that if you're in university, you're not going to expect to... It's not going to be great for your life if you're hanging around with kindergartens, right? So if you're in university and spiritual school, and you're hanging out with spiritual school kindergartens, you're constantly going to be disappointed by your peer group. Now, most importantly, don't pity these people. A lot of times, others will pity them, and pity is an insult to the higher potential that is still sleeping within that soul. And keep your expectations low with these people. Just lower your expectations, because in many ways they function a lot like animals in human bodies. And maybe it wasn't that long since they were an animal. So do you know anybody that seems to be in the low spirit school who's in your life? And what has your experience been? Have you ever been disappointed by setting your expectations too high for certain people that always let you down? People that always seem to make the wrong decisions. We then move on to the middle grades of spiritual school, and in the middle grades, people start making more of an effort. They become much more coachable, they're much more engaged in learning, and they have more of a beyond the self orientation. They think of others now. One of the challenges here is that people are often still looking for outside solutions to inside problems. So an example could be somebody who's on the spiritual path and they're very focused on hatha yoga and getting very fit and eating healthy, but they're not doing anything to make inner progress. They're not dealing with toxic people pleasing, and they're not dealing with setting healthy boundaries with some of the people that they should be setting boundaries with in their life, and there's a lot of enabling that they may get involved in. So at this point, we're still figuring out the best way to help others. The key thing in the middle grades is to really shift from outer progress to focusing on inner progress. Make inner peace more of a priority.
Are you okay? You okay, sweetie?
Now, as we get on to the higher grades of spiritual school, these are people that have a lot of self-control. They also don't have negative judgment of others. They see the innocence in everybody. And they're really grasping the true nature of reality in many ways. Or they are just here to teach us, spiritual masters and such. It's almost like they've graduated school and now they've come back to set a good example for the rest of us. And you might think of some spiritual role models that you look up to who may fit into the high grades of spiritual school, the graduates, those who had perfection of character, whether you're thinking of somebody like Jesus or Buddha or Paramahansa Yogananda. One of these individuals would definitely be high grade, probably full grad, and just came back to help set an example and tutor the rest of us, thankfully, so we don't get plunged into complete darkness and oblivion. The idea is to try to surround ourselves with those who are in the high grades as much as we can and learn from them, right? In the same way that, a full school graduate would be able to help you out to do well on your exams in life. Now, how can we move into the higher grades is a really important question. We may want to consider regular spiritual practice of some sort, whether that's prayer, meditation, and just living the teachings. Really just live the teachings, because at the middle and low grades we go to church and we learn things, but we don't put it into practice. There's no real practical application. We just kind of still show up the same way every week. One of the things to keep moving up is surround yourself with really good influences. Try to surround yourself with people that are in your same grade of spiritual school or higher, that can elevate your understanding. Come on. Many times we are teachers and students. We are students to those above us in spirit school, and we are teachers to those below us. But we want to make sure that we are spending a lot of time being influenced by those above us that can help take us from confusion to clarity. Another thing that helps us out is to just keep focusing on inner progress. Deal with your problems in life constructively, rather than asking, why is this happening to me, and getting bitter and resentful. Think, why is this happening to me? What am I supposed to be learning here? So just have a learner attitude to the difficulties and challenges in life. Whenever anything disturbs your inner peace, focus on what you could be learning here. Another thing that really helps us advance in grades is a concept I call align with the divine. Try to align with divine will for your life. Always ask yourself, what's trying to happen in my life right now, instead of what do I want to happen? Really try to tune into your intuition. It's best to do this if you practice calming yourself with meditation and positively reframing the thoughts in your head so that you can hear the voice of intuition better. And as we move through spirit school, there's probably about 6 questions we all need to answer. And one of them is this: what is this reality we call God? Allah, Elohim, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing by many different names. Well, these things happen sometimes. It's Raccoon Rambles, and There was a sound. And now the raccoons are all gone. So question number 2 would be, what is my true nature? What am I really? In a lot of the lower grades, we tend to get confused and think we are the body. But are we more than just a fleshy primate? Could we be a spiritual being? Number 3 is, why am I in this life? Why do I have these unique circumstances around me? Why am I born in this time and place? Why am I in this life right now? Come on, are you all coming back? I know you all got scared, yeah. Question number 4 could be, what should be the highest aim of my life? This is a very important question. You know, a lot of times in the mid to low grades, the highest aim for our life is to collect as much material wealth as possible because we think it'll give us security, but it doesn't really. We learn that the hard way sometimes. Maybe the highest aim for our life should be to grow in our emotional maturity, intellectual maturity, and spiritual maturity. Maybe that should be the highest aim for our life. The next question would be, how can I most easily fulfill that life purpose? Perhaps some self-introspection, perhaps getting some guidance from those who have profound wisdom, dealing with my life challenges constructively, and am I on track with what I know I should be doing? Is another question. Am I on track with what I know I should be doing? Would you all like a little bit of sandwich? Peanut butter sandwich? There you go. So, the key takeaway here in this discussion, guys, is to remember that we're all in spiritual school, okay? We're all in spiritual school. Focus on what you should be learning. Try not to judge those who are learning a different curriculum in this lifetime. It might seem obvious to you how they should be living their life, but they've got to figure it out. And experience is the best teacher. And just remember that they're acting the way you probably did in a previous lifetime. So let's be patient with each other. What that being said, you can say and do whatever you want, but there's one thing you'll never do. You'll never get me to judge you. You have my respect no matter what, because I know you and myself all have our own unique learning path, and nothing really teaches us like experience. And a lot of times we have to live the wrong way in order to properly learn to appreciate the right way of living. And we're all on the way to character perfection and graduation. And when you do graduate and achieve character perfection, be ye therefore perfect, as the saying goes, they say we have a choice. We can come back to help others, or we can move on. And I'm just grateful for those who have come back for the rest of us. This has been Raccoon Rambles. It's been an honor and a pleasure hanging out with all of you and all of you watching. Let me know if there's any subjects or topics you'd like me to discuss in future. Love you forever.